Delta Dawn and Baby Jane are the names given to an unidentified child murder victim whose body was found in Moss Point, Mississippi in December 1982. In a suspected filicide, the child, aged approximately 18 months, was partially smothered before she was thrown alive from the eastbound Interstate 10 bridge into the Esquatop River, where she ultimately drowned. Her body was recovered between 36 and 48 hours after her death. This unidentified decedent became known as both Delta Dawn and Baby Jane due to her sex, her age, and the fact her body was discovered at daybreak close to a delta of the Esquatop River. Interstate 10 bridge. According to numerous witnesses, in the early hours of December 3, 1982, a female toddler was seen in the area of Moss Point, Mississippi, in the company of a young adult female presumed to have been her mother and who had been carrying this toddler in her arms. These sightings had occurred on both Mississippi State Highway 63 and, later, the National Interstate 10, close to the state border of Alabama. The woman carrying this child in her arms had been wearing a blue plaid shirt and blue jeans, and was last seen walking west along Interstate 10, close to the truck scales at the Alabama-Mississippi border sometime between midnight and 1 o'clock in the morning of December 3. Reportedly, this woman had been in an acute state of distress, but had ardently refused any offers of help from passing vehicles. These eyewitness reports subsequently given to investigators would further be corroborated by accounts from a woman who had been monitoring CB radio conversations between truck drivers early in the morning of December 3, and who stated to investigators numerous truck drivers had been raising what she termed a boatload of hell regarding an obviously distressed woman walking along Interstate 10 with a barefoot, coatless female toddler in her arms and who had repeatedly refused any offers of assistance from passing vehicles. It is believed that the toddler in this woman's company may have been the victim subsequently recovered from the river. Discovery within 2 days of these sightings, at approximately 7 a.m. on December 5, a truck driver called police to report having sighted the body of an adult female floating face down close to a bridge spanning the Esquatop River along Interstate 10. The woman had been clothed in a blue plaid shirt. This truck driver immediately reported his discovery to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, and the sheriff's deputy immediately responded to the scene of the truck driver's sighting. Finding no body floating in the general area of the river in which the body had been sighted, this deputy decided to continue the search, expanding the geographical search radius of the river as he did so. Shortly thereafter, he discovered the body of a small blonde-haired child lying partially submerged and face up in the weeds close to the bridge. Authorities quickly determined the child had been thrown from the bridge into the general area where her body was subsequently found, and that this child's body was unlikely to have been dead sighted by the truck driver, as the section of the Esquatop River where her body was discovered had been heavily infested with weeds, thus making a sighting of any body in this section of the water very difficult for passing motorists. Subsequent search following the discovery of the child's body, the general vicinity of the Esquatop River where the truck driver had sighted the body of the adult female was dragged in the hopes of also retrieving her body, although these efforts would prove unsuccessful. These searches were conducted with the aid of helicopters and boats, although the body of the woman initially sighted within the Esquatop River has never been found. However, if the body seen floating in the river on December 5 was not hers, she has never been located alive, or presented herself to authorities. Although the underwater search unit failed to locate the body of the adult woman, this search unit did locate the largely skeletal remains of an African-American male on December 8. This individual is believed to have been aged 18 to 22, and his body was located beneath the eastbound I-10 bridge approximately 60 yards from the scene of the earlier discovery of the child's body. This decedent also remains unidentified, and although investigators believe this individual had also been thrown over the I-10 bridge, this decedent had lain undiscovered for a minimum of 6 months, thus making his death extremely unlikely to be connected to the case. Physical examination and autopsy performed on the child's body revealed that someone had attempted to smother her before she had entered the river, although the child had still been alive when she had entered the water, having inhaled murky water from the river into her lungs, thus indicating she had ultimately died of drowning. The official cause of death would be certified as drowning due to her having inhaled water upon impacting the surface of the river. Investigators would also conclude she had been intentionally deposited into the river from the eastbound I-10 bridge, very likely having been thrown into the river by the woman seen carrying her 2 days prior to her discovery, with this woman possibly believing the child had died via the act of smothering. In life, Delta Dawn had been a healthy toddler, with her age estimated to have been between the ages of 1 and 2 years old, most likely being between 18 months and 2 years of age. 12 of her milk teeth had erupted at the time of her death, which influenced this age estimation. The girl was Caucasian, with curly strawberry blonde hair, and has been described as being markedly beautiful in appearance. Because the child's body had lain in the river for approximately 36 to 48 hours prior to her discovery, her eyes had clouded to such a degree that determining their precise color was very difficult, although it is believed they had been either blue or brown. Despite the elemental damage to the eyes, her face was described as being in a recognizable condition. She was around 2 feet 6 inches in height, weighed around 25 pounds, and although no food was found in her stomach, she showed no signs of having been malnourished. The girl wore a pink and white cradle dog's checkered dress, decorated with 3 flowers on its front, along with a diaper. Funeral. The funeral of this unidentified child, who would become known as both Delta Dawn and Baby Jane to both the public and the media, was primarily funded by a local deputy named Virgil Moore who, along with his wife, Mary Ann, initiated a fundraising and donations appeal via local businesses and funeral homes to ensure the child received a Christian funeral, with Mary Ann Moore as the individual who coined the name Baby Jane, having been aghast at the thought of the child being simply buried as a Jane Doe. Delta Dawn was buried in the Jackson County Cemetery following an hour-long service conducted at the Bethel Assembly Church in Pascagoula. This service was conducted within weeks of the child's discovery, after all efforts to locate any relatives had proven fruitless. The service itself was attended by approximately 200 people, with 4 police officers serving as pallbearers. The primary means of paying for and conducting the child's funeral were donations by various local businesses and their employees, and Delta Dawn was buried beneath a flat granite marker with a ceramic vase. Her grave bears the inscriptions, Baby Jane and, known only to God. On the 25th anniversary of the funeral of Delta Dawn, a memorial service in her honor was held at the Bethel Assembly Church. This memorial service was organized by 2 Alabama women named Marjorie Brinker and Glenn Roos, who have both stated they cannot comprehend why someone would throw a baby into the river like that. Aftermath and ongoing investigations. Extensive searches have been conducted to find the body of the woman seen floating face down within the Escatawpa River on December 5. Equal efforts have been made to locate and/or identify the acutely distressed woman seen walking along Interstate 10 carrying a barefooted child in her arms on December 3, should the body cited by the truck driver actually not have been hers. All efforts have proven fruitless. Several scenarios surrounding the death of Delta Dawn have been theorized, with the most common assertion being that the woman seen with the toddler was the child's mother, who had either accidentally or intentionally caused the child's death before subsequently committing suicide. Following the discovery of Delta Dawn's body, newspapers throughout the country published stories of the discovery of the child's body, and the sightings on Interstate 10 2 days previously. These stories often featured contemporary forensic facial reconstructions of how the child had most likely appeared in life. All initial efforts proved unsuccessful with ascertaining the identity of Delta Dawn via this technique. A contemporary report of a woman who informed sheriff's deputies that she had given away her child to a group of men was originally connected to the case by the investigating officers, although these investigators rapidly determined that the subject requesting assistance had a male child, thus enabling investigators to quickly determine this report as being impertinent to this case. In 2009, the body of Delta Dawn was exhumed in order that investigators could obtain a DNA sample from her body, which could be entered into both the National Missing and Unidentified Persons System and the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children databases for comparison with nationwide unsolved murders and missing person reports. To date, no DNA match with Delta Dawn or the individual believed to have been her mother, should the two have been related, has been obtained. With advances in technology, in the years since the discovery of Delta Dawn's body, the child has undergone several forensic facial reconstructions and ongoing efforts to identify her body. The National Center for Missing and Exploited Children has also released 2 illustrations depicting potential likenesses as to how Delta Dawn may have physically appeared in life. Other forensic artists have also produced their own renderings in an effort to discover her identity. See also: Notes, References, Cited works and further reading. Evans, Colin, 1996. The Casebook of Forensic Detection: How Science Solved 100 of the World's Most Baffling Crimes. New York: John Wiley & Sons Incorporated. ISBN 0-471-07650-3. Halber, Deborah, 2015. The Skeleton Crew: How Amateur Sleuths Are Solving America's Coldest Cases. New York: Simon & Schuster. ISBN 978-1451-65758-6. Meyer, Cheryl, Olbermann, Michelle, White, Kelly, 2001. Mothers Who Kill Their Children. New York University Press. ISBN 0-814-75643-3. Newton, Michael, 2004. The Encyclopedia of Unsolved Crimes. New York: Facts on File. ISBN 978-0816-07818-9. External links: 2011 Night Report pertaining to Delta Dawn, 2014 Tufts Magazine article pertaining to the murder of Delta Dawn at Find a Grave, Delta Dawn at the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Delta Dawn at NAMUS, Delta Dawn at the Doe Network.